Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me know if you guys can hear me as well in the chat room. Hey, Gemini. Yes, Esma. I saw you placed an order. It will be sent out within the next day or two, and I will include you the free amethyst and the free elite noble shungite, no doubt. We're actually going to be doing a giveaway today as well in honor of the topic. We'll be giving away some of the black stones today. Very special giveaway. We'll wait for some other people to join. Hey, loud and clear. Cool. Sliff Pixie. Hey, Melinda. What's up, everybody joining in the chat room? Welcome, everybody. And see, even here is some of the longer shungite I have available on my website as well. This is not the elite noble shungite, though. This is polished shungite that I have some amulets of. This is actually a long one. I have a few of these available in packages as well. But the elite noble shungite, I'll show you what it looks like. Way different. So the elite, who we got in there? Yeah, what's up, Emily, as well? Yeah, the elite noble shungite is way different than the polished. All shungite is not equal. Some have a lower quantity of carbon. They call from Mr. Fuller the fullerenes as well, buckyballs and all that, right? So the elite noble shungite is really amazing. I don't know how well it comes off. Let me shut off the light if that's better. No, that's worse. But the elite noble shungite is really amazing, really powerful. See if you guys can see. I mean, you can infuse water with it as well. I have a good description on my website, but I will be giving out, the bigger the order, the more I will be giving out for free today at the Mystical Spiral store. And you'll also be getting free amethyst as well. And with every order, I usually include a free gift anyway. So if you're ordering from my website today, and the last couple of days that I've been doing this deal, you're not only getting free shungite and free amethyst, but most likely you're getting a free grounding stone or something like that as well. So there's a bunch of free stuff that people are getting. It's well worth it. And really, the reason why I'm really working with copper and crystals as well is because of the time we're in. And for literally under $500, you can get a pretty big harmonizer that can change your whole home, you know, and under $100, you get pendants that can change your life and change your meditation and your connection to source and healing as well. Not it's real science behind it. Not only does it have an explosions of new, fresh, beneficial electrons because of the twisted copper that we're using in sacred cubit measurements as well, that emit a certain frequency that's beneficial to the mind, the body, the soul, all of this. But it also, the copper has healing properties to it. You know, the very iron in your blood, your very bones can help by healed with the positively charged copper. When you twist the copper, you're positively charging the copper. So there's not a positive and negative polarity going on. So it's literally giving you an explosion of brand new beneficial electrons. And that's why there's real science behind it all, right? And so the copper products are really, I mean, if I was anybody today, there's only one I have available on my website right now, but the double wrapped harmonizer. These are the most powerful ones that I have. And for under $500, you get a pretty big harmonizer, and you get something beautiful to go on top of it as well, right? Whether it's a crystal ball or some sort of crystal cluster or whatever I have available for the package. And usually if someone gets one of these, I'll have them choose what they want to go on top of it. But I have all sizes, even bigger ones. And The smaller ones, I mean, for under 200 bucks, you get a smaller one that, I mean, let me show people what they're actually paying for as well, because not only are they positively charged, but you're getting 8 rings in each one of these harmonizers, 8 copper rings and a copper coil as well, the copper AccuVac in the middle that actually can be popped out and you can use it separately. So there's a lot of copper in general that goes into this, right? And copper is going to be more and more valuable in the future, and it can always be cleansed if it gets dirty. And in the future, I'm hoping to expand and be able to use silver and gold as well. But yeah, so whether you're getting crystals or copper, any purchase, you guys will be getting shungite and amethyst, and that's going to be part of our show today. We're going to be talking about black stones, right? And what many people don't realize is that my whole life, pretty much, I've been getting interesting connections to meteorites and the black stone and the mother goddess sort of Madonna type of worship, right? So the mother goddess, when you look at the original mother goddess worship, we're going to break this down, and most people don't even realize. I'm sure you could find the information, some of it in other places, but I'm going to be giving it to you in a way that you probably have never heard it before. Because when you get the origins of the Madonna, the origins of even the Black Madonna, that is about the cosmic womb of the cosmos giving birth to something on Earth, right? And when you're talking about the Black Madonna, it's the black stone, the black meteorite of the Sybil, of the magna mater, right? That gives birth to this black stone that comes to Earth. The origins of the Black Madonna is no doubt the worship of the black stone giving birth from the cosmos to Earth, right? When you see the Black Madonna with child, it's the origins of the black meteorite worship and how it came to Earth. And we're going to be going deep into this because not only did they have this worship all over the planet in various ways, but in Rome, we find a very interesting connection that I feel it's somewhere in my past life experiences from various dreams I've had and various connections I've had. And we have even Emperor Augustus. Not only did Emperor Augustus start a temple of, or even a cult to a comet, but he also set up a very interesting temple right on Palatine Hill, right on top of the cave of Lupercus, the cave of the wolf god, the cave where Romulus and Remus was suckled by an Etruscan she-wolf. So what are we describing here? We're going to be talking about that as well. But this temple of the Sybil was the temple of the black meteorite called the Sybil's Needle, which was the main worship of this temple. It was right on top of Palatine Hill, right next to the Temple of Apollo, right on top of the cave of Lupercus. And this is the origins of all of the mother goddess worship, which comes from the cosmos giving birth to the black stone, right? And you have it right in Mecca. Mecca is also what they would call a Baetyl or Betlos or Batlos stone, right? Baetylos, a Betlos, or a Baetyl, Baetyl, Baetyl stones. This is like iron stones coming down from the heavens, magnetic stones. And that's exactly what Mecca is. And that's exactly what the Black Madonna origins is, right? So this is very interesting. And not only did this temple to Sybil have one of the most powerful Baetyl stones or Baetyl stones of the ancient world, known as the Sybil's Needle, but the Sybil, the magna mater, right? The ancient prophetess to the gods, she would embody this stone. The stone would embody her, and it would be a telepathic exchange. That's why the Sybil, when you see what some of the symbols they would use with the goddess of the Sybil, that's Cybele, you know, and this is also connected to like Demeter and Diana and Artemis. I mean, there's so many ones that are also connected to this, but you'll see that usually this goddess will be connected to the sound of bees or bees in general, and even the pine cone, right? Which has to do with the pineal gland. It has to do with the telepathic experience, the humming or buzzing or whirring sound that you hear during psychic and telepathic experiences. This is the sound of that bees, that humming, right? That sound that we get during telepathic or psychic moments and communications with the meteorite, the stone, this supernatural stone of the heavens of the gods, the Sibyl's needle, right? And even the Sybil, right? She would actually, the only people that would be able to touch this stone were eunuch priests that would be, castrated priests. And they would dress them in these purple vestments like women. And they would have to, they would actually bring the stone down to the Almo River in, where the Almo and the Tiber River meet in Rome, in that area. There's a spot where the Almo, which is a fresh water, virgin freshwater, river. There's a spot where that river exchanges with the Tiber River, right? Where the two waters, the two rivers meet, and one flows into the other, making the other one lesser. And that is for the adepts and for those that are study mysticism, they would understand this very ritual, as when they would bathe this meteorite in the spot where the Almo River meets the Tiber, and they exchange with each other, and one becomes lesser because of the other one. This is the mystical significance of the Sybil prophetess embodying that meteorite and exchanging life forces with each other, so one can receive information and data from the other. And this is the very special ritual that they would do. And it would only be eunuchs, right, that would be able to do this. And they would do it periodically throughout the year during certain times, like the solstice and the equinoxes and things like this, right? So that's really incredible information right there. And that this stone actually, it went lost to history. And in my opinion, no doubt the Vatican had it. Has it now today on lock and key. This is most likely a 3-foot deep brown or black meteorite that's conical in nature, that comes to a point or tip similar to an Omphalos stone. This is where we get the origins of an Omphalos stone, right? This is where, like I said, the Mecca as well. But this was a 3-foot type, almost 3-foot stone that was conical. And I think actually in history, after Emperor Augustus had it in the Temple of the Sybil on Palatine Hill, it actually went with Mad Emperor Elagabalus in a private secret chapel. And it stayed there for many, many years, thought to be lost to history. And then from my research, I was able to find out that in 1730, we find another reference to it, and then it disappears, right? Which is really incredible, because I think it stayed in this secret spot of Emperor Elagabalus all the way from the time that he was emperor, all the way to the year 1730, and it's funny because this guy that finds it was an antiquarian. He was a scholar, and you would think that he would make the connection of it being the Sibyl's needle when he found it, but he described it in 1730. His name was Monsignor. Hold on, I got to look in my notes. I have it in my notes somewhere. Monsignor. It's Monsignor something. Hold on, give me a second. I forget his actual whole name, but it was. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's Monsignor Francesco Bianchini. So in 1730, this guy, Monsignor Francesco Bianchini, like I said, he was an antiquarian. He was a scholar. He describes a stone that he finds in the secret chamber as nearly 3 foot high, conical in shape, a very deep brown color, very much looking like a piece of lava and ending in a sharp point. And I find it incredible that he didn't make those connections with it being the Sibyl's needle of Temple of Augustus on Palatine Hill and all that. And this is the famous Symbol's needle that we have in history, that in the year 204 BC, and this is why I believe this is like a past life connection for me, because I've had these dreams throughout my life where they were like nightmarish type, woke me up, and it was like we're in winter and we're in like a camp, and it's like Roman type times, and people are like dying of disease, and we're like everybody's looking, praying to the gods for answers and things like that. And then there's these stones falling from the sky, fire falling from the sky, right? And everybody's looking at it like it's a sign from the gods. And there's a very interesting story that goes along with that in history that comes from the year 204 BC, when Roman armies are basically encamped during winter. And this is when battle is like halted for a little while, right? Because it's winter, right? So like plague breaks out among the Romans, and they're praying for signs from the gods. And this is when there's a huge meteor start falling from the sky, in quantity. And they took this as a sign to consult the Sibylline oracles, which are these books that they would only consult during dire circumstances, right? They're the oracle books. And then from there, they had a Senate agreement that they should that this warranted, the Meteorites warranted them consulting these books. So they go to the books, and then they find out that from the books that they need to move the meteorite from Pessinus, which is like in Susa, which is like Persian Iraq type area that they were at the time, that they had to move the stone all the way from Pessinus to Rome, which they do by ship. And when they actually enter into Rome, the ship gets stuck in a sandbank, and they took this as like a curse and a sign. And then there's a woman named Claudia in the story that's very interesting, because even Ovid talks about it in his writings, how this woman, this matron Claudia, and a matron back in Roman times would be someone of high status, because even she had to be, because the way Ovid described her is that the way he described her, for her to get away with how she was, she would have to be of high status, because even Ovid described her as a woman that had no problem speaking back to men. They gossiped about her impurities, that she changed her hairstyle frequently, and she dressed seductively, and all of this and stuff. And they called her a matron, and a matron would be like a person of high status back then, right? So she apparently, when it got stuck in the sandbank, on the ship, they could have easily just moved it off of the ship at this point in Rome, but they took this as a sign, and they needed to bring it all the way. So when the men couldn't, like, they were completely exhausted and they couldn't move the ship, they were trying to pull it out of, it was stuck, they couldn't move it at all. So Claudia, this woman Claudia that's on the ship, she asked them if she could try it, and they were like, what do we have to lose? We tried everything else. So she calls out to the mother goddess that if she's, to give her, it's sort of like the story with King Arthur and Excalibur, right? Only a certain person can move the sword. Well, it was the same thing with this. She got out and she called to the goddess, with the stone right there. And she was able to pull it with one pull and move it out of being stuck. So it was a pretty interesting story. And, I don't think they would be even lying about that, because say she even set that up, like, you would think that maybe she paid paid some people off to act like the boat was stuck, so she can act like she was more of a goddess type figure. And if she was a person of high status, maybe she would have the money to pay off the people on the boat, like act like the boat's stuck. And then when I go out there and I give it a tug, it acts like that I'm some sort of like goddess type figure. I mean, she could have set that up behind, but to do that would be in direct disobedience with the gods. And it would also be a direct disbelief of the gods by playing that game. I don't know if somebody would be worth that risk back in the day of doing that, you know. So I do believe it's some sort of real story that we're talking about here. And it's talked about how she basically she took off her sash, and which is like an infla that they call it, and she actually twined it on the prow of the ship and began to pull, and that's how she was able to do it. She is eschewing the rope. She took off her sash and twined it on the prow of the ship. And that's a very interesting story because, like, you know, Claudia being this, what was her full name? Her name was, I don't know if her name was, if we have her whole name. Claudia something. I know I wrote it down, but I think it's just Claudia that I wrote. I think that we did, there's somewhere that we have her whole, oh yeah, Claudia Quinta. That was the woman's name. And I mean, it's even talked about in Ovid's writings, which is really interesting. And I think that was in 1730 was the last time we find reference of that stone, that, you know, one of the stones that's like one of the origins of the Black Madonna. And when they show the Black Madonna standing above the crescent moon, this is related, or the Madonna standing with the crescent moon, this is related to where the original black meteorite fell. It fell in the Fertile Crescent. When you go from where like Thebes is, where the Nile is in Egypt, and you go around like this all the way to Mesopotamia where Ur is, that is a big crescent moon. That is the Fertile Crescent. And this is where the meteorite fell upon. This is where the Black Madonna stands over. Right. And when you even look at the Mecca, where the black meteorite is in the sort of like a shape of a vagina, that is the cosmic vagina with the black stone giving birth out. Right. This is also where you get the origins of the Christian fish. Right. That vagina, cosmic vagina with the black stone coming out, the birth of a new fertility on this planet. That's what happens. And when you see a lot of these priests, the holy priests of the Black Madonna, when they start getting infected by the destructive force of the worship of the Black Madonna, and how the destructive force of the black stone can rape and pillage the land, and they start to rape and pillage, you know, the people. This is the same. This is them being infected by that worship, that dark destructive force of that type of worship, that side of it. At least there's different sides of these, you know, these forces. So that is very interesting when we get into that, because Palatine Hill, people don't realize the significance of what was there at one time. And then it does originate to communication with meteorites. And these are the supernatural stones of the god, and the worship of the origins of the Madonna worship, you know, and they would be eunuch priests. And, you know, the Black Madonna and child is the black meteorite giving birth to new fertility on Earth. You know, that's there's no doubt that those two go hand in hand. I've been talking about the black stone for years going back. You know, it's the origins of worship. It's of that mother goddess stone, and they are the Baetyl stones, the iron meteorite stones of the gods, right? The iron magnetic stones that would be made by stonemasons on obelisks. The top of the obelisk, they would put them at the top of pyramids. This is why you see the pyramid with the eye. It would be that magnetic eye on top. You know, and stonemasons would be the ones constructing it. That's why you see Freemasons of today using that symbol. It's the magnetic lodestone on top of the pyramid, on top of the eye of the obelisk, and they would actually make gold and all of this on top with a magnetic iron stone as well on there. It'd be like the flash of the eye on top of and then when the sun would come over the horizon in the morning, it would flash and light up that eye of the obelisk. So the top of that pencil point tip of the obelisk would be glowing like an eye at sunrise. It would be the flash of sunrise, would be those light codes, the flash of those first, that divine message of the sun, the flash of the horizon, right? That is just where the divine communication of the gods, where you would receive the information. And when you get the word Aten with the solar disk, you have this in Hebrew, right? Aten in Hebrew is Adon, A-D-O-N. And when you have Adonai, which is more of a Phoenician twist to it, it just means my Lord, right? Because a lot of times Adon means Lord or son Lord, right? Or Aton or Adon or Adonai, right? These are all words that are exchanged with each other. Aten just isn't pulled out of anywhere, right? You have that in Phoenician and in Hebrew as well as Adon or Adonai. Yeah, the sun has been incredible lately. Yeah, the one eye, the cyclopean eye, is also the eye, the magnetic eye, the pineal eye, right? That's what it also symbolizes, the communication. That's why a lot of times you would see the pine cone represented with it, or bees, that whirring or humming, buzzing sound that we get, right? And yeah, I think it's very interesting when you think about even the cult of the stone, right? And what they would do in the Alamo, because I no doubt think that in the year 1730, right, because we have Emperor Augustus who sets the Sybil stone we have in record it being moved in 204 BC from Pessinus to Rome, right? So then we have Emperor Augustus eventually setting up a temple from, except one time this black meteorite, this Sybil's needle, was traveling with the camps until they actually set up a temple for it on Palatine Hill, right? And then the Sybil, this is the temple of the Sybil, the Magna Mater, right? So then afterwards, it wasn't out in the public. It wasn't like a public temple anymore. Like, I mean, not really public, but it wasn't there available out there anymore. Because during Mad Emperor Elagabalus's reign, he actually removed the stone to a special private chapel from the Temple of the Sybil to this private chapel that was in the Imperial Palace. And it seems it sat there all the way until the year 1730, when we have Monsignor Francesco Bianchini talking about it and describing it. And I think that at that moment, maybe he might have not made that connection when he reported about it, but other people did. And most likely the Roman army was sent to retrieve this at that time. And it was no doubt retrieved, and at one time this stone was so important. It was one of the most important black stone worship of the ancient world. And it was so important that every year these literal eunuch priests, I mean, literally they would carry the stone from its temple home on the Palatine Hill, and they would bring it to this, that pure spring water of the Alamo, that virgin waters. And they had these special utensils, and they would wear these special purple vestments, similar to like what priests would wear now during confessions and exorcisms and things like that, right? The purple vestments they would dress in. It would be like a purple woman's dress, though, and they would carry it down, and they would hold it in and ritually bathe it in the waters that exchange you know, like I mentioned earlier. And, you know, Emperor Augustus actually, he actually was trying to bring back certain virtues of chastity and things like that in ancient Rome. He was trying to get rid of some of the Egyptian Isis worship, in fact, as well, because the Isis worship was going hand in hand with the Sybil worship. You know, even in Alexandria, the Greeks in Alexandria in Egypt, they were into Sybil worship as well, you know. So yeah, these outfits were pretty intense, you know, and it's only mimicked by the church of today, you know, and it's pretty incredible because most people don't know the origins of it all. But yeah, even this all comes from the Asura Deva wars, the Vedic wars, and the clans that were split up, and all the knowledge that came out of those clans, you know. And no doubt the black stone, or the sentient stones of the gods, are that's some of the ultimate worship of these thunderstones, right? These Baetyl stones, these iron meteorites, and different cometary debris of the gods. And so we're gonna do a few things today with I was actually gonna show a few products today as well. Hey Shay, hey Emily, we're gonna do a shout out: Botanical Angel, Marusha, Miss May Orno, Roz, the Lexius, Linda, Cybele, Emily C. I don't know if Alan was saying something bad, but somebody removed it. Esma, Larry, Free Energy Mobile, that dude, Belinda Binda, Barb Weist, Lady Dagger Status, Dagger Status. Welcome everybody in the chat room. Glad everybody is here today. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible when I've been really going deep into some of this information. And Emperor Augustus, he no doubt had that sort of lineage where they were communicating with the cosmos and with celestial objects like that. I mean, it's deep in Tuscany, deep in ancient Tuscany and ancient Etruscan lore. And in those elite noble families, they would have deep beliefs in the way meteors, and when certain meteors were seen, meteor showers even, and certain meteors were seen in the sky, when they were seen at certain points in people's life, would be of real significance. And they would be called like private meteors, or family meteors, or personal meteors. Like if a man sets up his first home and he sees a meteor in the sky, you know, depending on where it is in the sky and how it relates to that person's astrological chart, it will depend on what happens throughout that man's life, how it will affect that man's life, and certain things that happen to him. And man, I wouldn't be working with copper and crystals if it didn't help connect people to source and protect them from bad energies out there and bad frequencies and things like that. And meteors, I think they come here and they project certain harmonic frequencies as well. They are technology of the gods. And I actually think that this is why we see sometimes that heavy set mother goddess, that black Madonna, even being heavy set and coming down on her from her throne and sitting there and carrying that heavy harmonic frequency. Like it's really incredible when people have totally misinterpreted things over the years. And a lot of people out there are actually even taking like just Zachariah Sitchin's work and using it as their own research, and they've made careers off of it. Like I see people like on different platforms like Gaia TV and all these different things where they're just reciting Zachariah Sitchin's research and they're making a career out of it. I don't get it. But I've done my own research from all different angles. And yeah, it's not over to the fat lady sings. It's right. It's that black destructive force coming down, that dark force, you know. That's so true. It's not over to the fat lady's things. That's a perfect example, right? It's so true. Even in Malta, you know, the whole island is dedicated to Mother Goddess worship, and even the temple underneath is made so it has some sort of sound technology, like an opera, big opera singing singer, heavy set opera singer singing, like echoing through the chambers, right? So yeah, actually he worked in Zachariah Sitchin worked with the Mossad as well, and he worked for the Mossad, no doubt, in my opinion. And you got people all, I don't want to name names. I've even interviewed one or two of the people, you know, back in the day, but now they're making like whole careers that are just all they did is read Zachariah Sitchin's works, and the guy had like a book deal. He like had to fill it all up. I mean, it's he had a narrative throughout the whole thing. It's not real research when you have a narrative, right? My research has led me to certain things, and I've gone from all different angles over the last like almost 30 years, you know. So in I'll be 44 this year, and I've been literally reading and researching and experiencing over 30 years. So, you know, it's so true. And well, you know, a lot of the stuff is made for entertainment out there, like Gaia TV, and that's made for entertainment. It's fluff, right? What's up, Masaki? Masaki's in the house. But yeah, the origins of the Black Madonna, for those that are just coming, is the black stone, the cosmos giving birth to the black stone, right? Coming from the cosmic womb. And even if you look up Mecca, I mean, look, we could probably look it up. Let me share screen. You'll see how it's like the cosmic vagina giving birth to the black stone. I think I can look it up right here. Damn, they don't show a close-up of it on here. Let's see. And they don't have a close-up of the picture of Mecca? That sucks. I have it in a book. I'd have to go get it. I'd have to go dig for it. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, it is the cosmic vagina giving birth to the black stone. They have it incorporated right in what you see here. There's no doubt that's what it represents. And it also is the origins of right here of the Christian fish, you see. So this is no doubt what you see here is actually Black Madonna worship. And the Black Madonna in child is the black stone giving birth to fertility on this planet. I mean, look at it. There's no doubt what you see here. You know, this is a Baetyl stone or Baetyl stone, right? That I've talked about. And the Baetyl or Baetyl stone, the OS in Baetylos, the OS is just an ending for like a Greek noun ending right there. It's also called the Baetyl stone, a Baetyl stone. And where they get the Ba from, they're pulling that from Egyptian origin. That actually means meteoric iron in ancient Egypt. The Ba sometimes can mean soul or spirit, a level of the spirit, similar like in Hebrew, you have different levels to the soul or the spirit, like the nefesh, the ruach, right? All these different levels. Well, just you have the same thing in ancient Egyptian. You have the Ka, the Ba, the Kaaba, all that different, right? So Ba is one of them, but Ba also can mean meteoric iron or metallic substance, right? In ancient Egypt. And a lot of times when you have those two letters together, like AA in Ba, B-A-A, Ba, or even in Baetylos, you have B-A-I, that A-I together. That's what's called a diphthong. So that's when two nouns two vowels are put together to make a certain sound. So that's what you have in ba, ba'a, right? When it's two A's together, those two A's are a diphthong. That's when those two vowels are put together to make a certain sound. That's the same thing you have in batelos. You have that AI. That AI together is another diphthong, where those two vowels put together are put together to make a certain sound as one, where usually one of them is silent, right? So that's what we have to break down that word. And that's like, so when you have batelos, it's literally meaning supernatural or meteoric, alien, iron, stone of the heavens or of the gods. Baetyl, right? Of the because that's where it's coming from. El can mean of the gods or of the heavens. So even when you have Baal, many people translate to be master or lord of the heavens or master of the universe. But in reality, the Phoenicians and the Canaanites, right, they're getting that Baal, that BA, from Egyptian origin. So it really actually should be translated as the meteoric iron of the heavens or of the gods. Because what is Baal or Baal? Baal is a god coming down from the heavens as a thundering lightning. He's a storm god and he's a fertility god. So what comes down as lightning and storms that also brings fertility? Well, the meteorites do. And they're also called thunderstones, Baetyl stones, thunderstones. Like I said before, it's the origins of Thor's hammer, the iron slamming down from the sky in a lightning thundering blast, the thunderstone, right? And it brings destruction, but it also brings fertility as well. It brings new harvests and new crops and new DNA and new things to the planet after it can also rape and pillage it. So they are war gods and destruction gods, but they also are fertility gods and storm gods, right? Because this is what meteorites and comets and meteors can do, right? So really, in my opinion, I translate different than Zechariah Sitchin and most other people. In my book, I translate Baal to mean the sacred iron stone of the heavens, meteoric iron of the heavens. And in ancient Egypt, they didn't have iron like they had nowadays. The only iron that they had was iron that came from the sky, right? Meteoric iron, magnetic iron. Like I said, and these would be the tops of the magnetic eye of the stonemasons, of the Freemasons. They have it at the top of, originally at the top of the Chartres Cathedral of Notre Dame. There's two steeples that you have in the Chartres Cathedral. You have one that was made in the 1100s. You got one that was made in like the 1500s. The one that was made in the 1100s, from the knowledge of the Knights Templars that they secretly found, sacred knowledge. And then what did they do when they made these cathedrals? They employed Persian mathematicians and astrologers to make the sacred glass, to make the sacred windows, and to make the sacred spots of the church. And what did they do at the very top of the steeple? They put a magnetic meteoric iron lodestone right at the very top of the steeple that is now gone to history. It's now been taken, it's now gone. But it originally was there at one time. It was talked about in the old writings. And no doubt, in my opinion, all of the Notre Dame cathedrals like Reims and Notre Dame and all those ones, they no doubt had these sort of meteoric lodestones. And in my opinion, there was also one at North Salem, New York, the balanced rock that I go to. I believe underneath it, in the ritual bowl that I actually charge some of my objects in, at one time there was a magnetic meteoric stone right in that as well. This is the umbilical spots of they would put the umbilical spot of the planet. At certain spots they would put these stones at. They would be the magnetic lodestones of the umbilical spot of the cosmic womb, right? The birth spot. And a lot of times this would be spots where meteors fell at, where they would put these sacred pillars at later on. And from my work, I have discovered that these spots where meteors have fallen in have become installations, some of them even beneath the waters, and they become like bases. They're not what we think. These are technologies of the gods. They are not what we think. You know, and some of them might even be carrying all sorts of things inside, right? And we're going to be seeing this in the future. We're going to be seeing a lot more information come out about it. It's the origins of even the name Cernunnos, right? Because not only do you have the name Baetyl or Batlos, but you also have another version of the thunderstone that's called Ceraunus or Cerauni, which is Ceraunus, which is very similar to Cernunnos, and no doubt the origins of Cernunnos or CERN, right? The longer ones are usually called the Cerauni, these elongated stones. And this is what you had at the Sybil's Needle on Palatine Hill, right? You had this long conical 3-foot stone, right? And this is the origins of it all. This is the origins of the Black Madonna. Let me see what's going on in the chat room. The lodestone skull, yeah, right? Thank you, Susan. Yeah, everybody, I'm giving away, for those that don't know, we'll do a little bit of product now, because I just unload some crazy information on you. But yeah, you know, the Black Madonna worship, you know, that I wanted to point out again, even some of the priests that worship the Black Madonna today, they get possessed by the dark and destructive force of the black stone meteorite information that you can embody, and that sort of worship of the Black Madonna. You know, and some can come and, you know, the way the black meteorite or black meteor can come and rape and destroy the virgin harvest and land and fields, the same way the priests mimic this by their rape of the children, you know, and things like this. You know, that's the same sort of destructive force that they get possessed by, you know. And the Black Madonna and child, it comes from the black stone of the Sybil, right? Even Attis worship is related to all of this as well. No, I haven't seen Gods of Egypt. I don't watch too many movies. Most of the stuff I watch is older stuff, if I watch anything. No, the UFOs, you know, I actually think a lot of the UFO information that's coming out nowadays is a distraction. It's not even the truth. It's a distraction from what's really going on up above us, and that's the mining of meteorites and asteroids and all of this stuff that's going on, right? It's people, we're not getting the right information. Most likely, the UFOs that we're seeing now, that they're showing in the UFO public, from my opinion, from my own intuition, if you want to say, let's put it that way, is that those UFOs are government made, that they're showing, and most likely government made from materials that we mined from asteroids. And we're mimicking certain things that we've seen, either from coming from inner Earth or from things like that we have. They're not coming from other planets like people think. No freaking way. They might be interdimensional, and they're coming from inner Earth dimensions and things like that we have within our own harmonic energy grid of our planet. We have multiple harmonic frequencies, harmonic dimensions, and those objects are coming from our own harmonic dimensions of our own planet. And we're getting the friggin' special materials from them because we're mining asteroids, and we're getting meteoric iron and different meteoric type objects. And we have there's certain asteroids in the asteroid belt, like Davida, one's called Davida, that's worth trillions of dollars. So people, we are not, you know, that's disclosure, right? That's disclosure. What I just gave you is real information. That's all they're giving you. What we're seeing is government experiments with UFOs, that they're getting that secret materials from mining asteroids and things like that. No doubt in my mind. And that they're being engineered from other dimensional craft that we got from in here, you know, because all that other stuff is just seeded here for a distraction. Yeah, I mean, even there's certain rituals that they do with even the desert glass and certain crystals, right? Even the Knights Templars, no doubt this is how Notre Dame Cathedral got lit on fire a few years ago, because they would do what they would call like the Prometheus's fire, where they would light certain things on fire using crystals, or they would summon the divine sacred fire this way. This is how they would even call down the Baetyl stones, call down stones from the sky. You know, no doubt this is what they were doing with the Sibyl's needle in 204 BC. Yeah, so yeah, I wanted to show this for those that didn't see. This is the double wrapped harmonizer, which is double as strong as a normal harmonizer. Let me show you guys what a regular harmonizer is. And these ones can change. They can even pull out bad smells, right? They can change the harmony of your whole home, your room, your house, your office. So this is a regular, and these I have are 8 rings. I think the only 6-ring one I have is the smaller one, but that one for some reason is even more powerful sometimes than the bigger ones. I like the small power punch of these smaller ones. For some reason, these are some of my favorite. And for under $200, you can get this. You can get a crystal skull to go on top of it and all that. So it's really worth it. And you're getting free shungite with it, free amethyst, and a free grounding stone if you all get it today. So a normal 8-ring harmonizer, medium size. These are the medium size ones, because I do have a larger size as well if you guys want. These are 8-ring larger ones. And for literally like under $400, you can get a huge one and get other stuff that comes with it. So, and then you only have to buy them once in your life. They ain't going to go bad. It's only a one-time purchase. I mean, even if it gets a little dirty, you could clean it. And you can just use something really soft, even like a sponge. You could use either tomato sauce and water mixture, or tomato sauce and salt mixture, or you can use like white vinegar and salt mixture until the salt dissolves. Then you dip like a little sponge in and do a little clockwise scrubs on it, and it'll turn brand new again. But so this is a normal 8-ring harmonizer, medium size, right? This is a normal one, which you see how the AccuVacs you could take right out and use as an AccuVac coil as well in the middle. Well, the double wrapped is double as strong and double as thick, as you can see the difference. So look at the difference between the two. This is the double wrapped, and this is the single wrapped. You can see the difference of the two. Hold on, let me get rid of this chat room so I could see it. So this is the double wrapped one, and this is the single wrapped one. Look at the difference between the two of them. Way different. One is double wrapped, double as strong, double as thick. Really incredible. This is the double wrap right here, and this is the single wrap. You can see the double wrap even pops with energy more. And it's definitely, both of them are definitely worth it. And in my opinion, these are just as, if not, these little ones are just as strong. They just don't have as much distance of effect. The bigger ones will be a longer distance of effect, and the smaller ones will pack just as much as a punch, but it won't go as far. You know, it won't get, but these double wrap ones, these are double as strong. These are the high, I only have one available on my website right now. The other one was just recently sold, but this is really amazing, really powerful. And if you put like clusters on top, or even like a crystal ball, like a rainbow moonstone, or any type of crystal ball, they're really powerful on top of there as well. There, and I have the custom crystal skulls that fit perfectly for all sizes of these. Let me see what you guys got in the chat room. Skulls that fit perfectly. Cool, yeah. Esma, yeah, Esma, I'm gonna ship your stuff out in the next couple of days. I just started a new payment on my, I used to only have PayPal payments on my website, and we just started doing it where people can pay with credit card, Wix payments, but it hasn't even been transferred to my account yet. It just started. I just started it like 2 or 3 days ago. So now people can pay, by Wix. I mean, could pay by just regular credit card. They don't have to even use PayPal if they don't want to, but it hasn't been transferred to my account yet. I think because of the holiday weekend. So either tomorrow or the next day, the money should go into my account once that comes, and it's working for sure. I'm actually going to ship your stuff out tomorrow anyway, both of you guys. But now I have another payment, so people don't even have to use PayPal anymore if they don't want it on my website. They can actually just pay by credit card, by my Wix payments. Yeah, that's the Sekhmet rock is the one that's the North Salem balance rock. I actually think they had a magnetic lodestone at that rock at one time, and it's now gone to history, like most of the stones that have been taken. And I actually think they used to put even what they call firestone, which is like monatomic powder, this conical powder that they would use. I think they used to actually charge that in that site as well. Typhonian magic. I mean, Typhonian magic is just set draconian magic. Typhon is another word for set. So my thought on draconian magic, I would not mess around with it at all. Anything that you gotta, let me give you a reason why. To get information in draconian magic or Typhonian magic or Setian magic, right? You have to do a ritualistic ripping open of a dimension with a dagger. To step into the eye of the void, to cross the eye of the void, and to achieve knowledge from the cosmos, you have to ritualistically rip open a dimension of knowledge with your dagger, with your eye of Apophis, right? To me, anything that you have to rip open is not meant to be, right? You have knowledge deep within you. You have the gateway of knowledge within you. You should not have to rip open a dimension that's not meant for you to receive information. And that's my full thought on that. So that's the best way I can break it down for you in a minute or two. So Set and Typhon is the same thing. You know, it's the same thing. It's draconian magic. You know, and a lot of them, they even have the worship of Apophis, right? Which they don't even realize what they're truly even worshiping, which they're worshiping meteors and things like this, the dark destructive force of the cosmos, of the gods. And what they bring virus, they bring serpents and bacteria that can infect the body, right? I'm not gonna, I can't tell you how to close it because I would never rip one open, Susie Q. So I've already known about that from very young age. But yeah, the Mystical Spiral store is where it's at, everybody. And for me, this year, allergies were really bad, and I've been using the face masks, the copper face masks, for literally, you can get these for under $100, and they come with free stuff, free grounding stones, free crystals, all of that. And all sorts of stuff from onks to AccuVax. I mean, all of this, and they come with crystal packages. I actually have amazing shungite amulet. These are shungite polished cosmic eggs right here. So in honor of the black stone, right? No, these are actually shungite though. These are not meteorites. These are shungite. These are great for healing, great for EMF protection. I have these that come with whole packages. They come with other objects like frequency clusters and grounding stones and all of this. So definitely worth picking up those packages. And I have all sorts of different levels of shungite. And like I said, anybody who makes a purchase today, I got huge watermelon, tourmaline clusters, blue kyanite clusters. These are once in a life purchases that you guys got to check out. So these are what a typical, like some of the quartz clusters look like. You know, these are big, huge, raw clusters. All my crystals on my website, they're either raw clusters where I know the person who got it, you know, or they're carved by master carvers. And kyanite clusters, huge kyanite clusters that I have, watermelon, tourmaline clusters, all of that. World-class crystals, the Mystical Spiral store, and the highest grade copper that you can find. And, you know, the guy that I met, David Sereda, he charges like $8,000 for similar things on his website. And you can get mine for hundreds, like for $100. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying his are wrong, but I do the same thing. I have a catalog of 432 hertz frequencies that are imprinted, you know, while I'm packaging. I have the 432 hertz generator. I have white clary sage being bathed in it while I package it as well. So the same thing that some people are charging thousands and thousands of dollars for, you can get right at the Mystical Spiral store. So today you will receive grounding stones, elite noble shungite, and a little bit of amethyst in the orders. So definitely worth it in the next 24 hours to pick that up, the Mystical Spiral store. And this was an amazing show today. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys later. I will be on Patreon tonight, patreon.com/the Mystical Spiral at midnight. We are doing a remote viewing. So we'll be here tonight with the black stone of the meteorite. Spiral out. Also on Fridays, you could find me on the Leak Project. I have my own show there every Friday night from 9 to 11 Eastern. It's called Pulsar TV, keeping our finger on the pulse of the light. And also on Saturday nights, I'm on Truth Frequency Radio, tfrlive.com/Eye of Ra every Saturday night. And yeah, same. Do you guys ever see this guy? This is from my birth with the umbilical cord going down to the headphones, to the umbilical cord. That's from my buddy Dave that's watching right now. It's never seen it. Boom. All right, guys. I love you all.